Greetings and welcome to another episode of Story Time with Banjo Wizard. I'm your host, Banjo. Once upon a time, long, long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, in a parallel dimension, there existed a time and place in outer space where comedy was funny. And in those days, comedians said funny things. And people laughed. Crazy, I know. Hard to imagine a comedian cracking jokes that are actually funny. But you know, in order to be funny, we have to offend. Not because it has to be gross, vulgar, or crude, which it seems like some are trying to substitute this with, but because it has to possess an element of truth. And when you're telling the truth, you're always going to offend someone, because there will always be that person that is lying to themselves about reality. I present to you the average leftist, corporate, fascist, television church-attending, medieval troglodyte, state goon, volunteer, thought policeman. Who else would enjoy a shit show like what we saw at the White House Correspondence Dinner hosted by Naomi Pussy Flapface Wolf the other night? This bitch literally sounded like a literal ding-dong with every failed attempt at humor that protruded from the side of her mouth. Her voice seemed to be stored in the most nasally of nasal passages in some unseen storage compartment. It blithered from a bumbling backside of her face like a never-ending backwards form of flatulence, unseen of or unheard of till now, ascending on our unsuspecting ears, ready to punish any poor soul for merely tuning in. And as I'm listening to this white, Jewish, libtarded piece of trash for as long as I can humanly stand, I'm asking myself a question. What happened to comedy? Well, guys, it's a whole other conversation, and I'm not the first to touch on it, as I didn't discover that political correctness destroyed comedy, but here we have a prime example. And by now, everyone has seen that train wreck from Australia, Demi Lovato. Google history, Dad's Google history or whatever. Goodness gracious. Whew. I'm sure she's a charming chap of a gal in person, but her comedy is non-existent. And it begs the question, why are women not as funny as men? Well, it's elementary, my dear Watson. Or rather, should I say, it's evolutionary, my dear Watson. If you're a science-worshipping, pedophile, cult government-enforcing shield working for free, or perhaps it's just the way God made us. Either way. Phew, good grief. Somebody shut that thing up was all I could think while watching that. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got to say about that. Regards, Banjo Wizard. The end. Whatever. How do you turn this blasted thing off?